Welcome back to the Tan and J-Man Show live on the ISC Sports Network. It is Monday night, and you know what that means. It is one of your top 24 hours of the day. The Tan and J-Man Show. Packed show tonight. We got T-Dog on my... I'm trying to look at the screen. He's on my... What is this? On my right. I don't know. He's on the left on the screen, but he's on my right. Anyway, how you doing tonight, T-Dog?
I'm doing good. I like to see that you are struggling with your directions tonight. Always makes me feel good.
It's going to be a rough one tonight. I can already
That's
feel
why we're best friends. We struggle with easy things. We make easy things look very difficult. I'm sure your wife and my fiance would support that thought I just had there. But doing good. Chilly day today here in the Midwest. June 12th, and I played a golf outing for work today, and it never got in the 60s, or if it did, it was 60 when we were golfing. Yeah, it was chilly, windy, little rain, not too much, but just cloudy, just nasty today.
You must have got what we got yesterday, because it was like 58 degrees yesterday, and today got up into the 70s, which was nice. But yesterday was freezing. I can't imagine being out on the golf course with that.
Yeah, it was not fun on the second hole. I hit one thin. And you know, being a former high school and college baseball for like a day player, if you hit one on the end of the bat, in cold weather, it can sting, you know. Same thing with golf. If you hit one thin, I did that on the second hole, and I had that feeling. I'm like, it's June. I'm not supposed to be having this feeling in June. Like, what is going on?
April, sure, and it felt like April.
Exactly. March, April, even May, but June 12th, I mean, we're almost to the middle of the month. Come on. But I feel like we open with weather talk every week. We should probably switch that one of these weeks. But when it's 50-something degrees in June, I feel like that's worth noting and talking about. So, but other than that, I'm good. I've played a lot of golf lately. My back hurts. I'm 31, going on like 61.
A few years ago, you had a bout with shoulder tendonitis. So
I forgot about that.
Was it tendonitis or was it arthritis?
No, it was tendonitis, and I got a shot. And I've been fine ever since. But I honestly, till this moment, forgot about that. Because that year I battled that and kidney stones, which a lot of old people get. It wasn't a flood. It was 2020. It wasn't a flood 2020 on top of the pandemic for me.
You had all those at about the same time too.
I did.
The tendonitis was the funny one.
I completely forgot about it. It wasn't funny going through, and I couldn't put my arm higher than this without tears rolling down my eyes.
Can't sleep.
Oh, it was awful.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a 70-year-old here.
I about drove myself to the emergency room that night. I woke up with so much pain from my shoulder. Oh, man, I forgot. That's good stuff. I forgot about it. You got a good memory. You're one of those people that remembers crazy things. It's like not even important things, and it's impressive, though. It's impressive. Well, hopefully your memory lets you down in the birdie or bogey question tonight, because you have a commanding 3 strokes lead on me. And we'll see if you can make that 4. Maybe you can drop back to 2 for me and give me a fighting chance. But I do have a baseball question for you tonight, as my dog's chiming in here in the background. Yesterday, Andrew McCutchen. Do you think he's Hall of Famer, by the way? Future Hall of Famer? No, just good player.
Yeah, Hall of very good, if they had one.
He recorded his 2,000th career hit, becoming the 5th active player to have 2,000 career hits under their belt. Can you name the other 4?
That's a really good
3 for a par, 4 for a birdie.
Seems like I should be able to, but at the same time, I don't even have a single guess right now. So
you will by the end of the show. I expect you to get a par, but you might be able to get a birdie.
Yeah. So. Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Arlington Public House. Arlington Public House has upscale cuisine and cocktails with a casual atmosphere, located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. Tonight's special, as always, on Monday nights, the smoked wings. $2 smoked whole wings and $1 off domestic beers every Monday.
Man, can't beat that. It's a heck of a deal.
That's a heck of a deal. Over the weekend, they had walleye. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Walleye veloute? Veloute. No idea. Pan-roasted walleye on a bed of couscous, cherry tomatoes, and a creamy seafood sauce. paired with crispy onion rings.
Spell that for me again. Veloy.
VELOUTE,
OUTE.
and it has the little
Yeah.
thing above the E.
We're
What's that
gonna.
called?
I got nothing.
Yeah, me either.
Veloute, that looks like it's pronounced.
Veloute.
Yeah.
Well, veloute.
It's a rich white sauce made with chicken, veal, pork, or fish stock, thickened with cream and egg yolks.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it looks like it's usually on seafood. It looks like
Creamy seafood sauce.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. Your veggies.
See, you learn stuff on the Tan and J
do.
Man show every week. You learn stuff.
I do, and that doesn't even include the On This Day segment either. We got that coming up.
We do have that coming up, and man, I'm hungry for chicken wings now. I haven't had chicken wings in a while. I haven't ate dinner yet tonight. I'm hungry.
Last time I had chicken wings. Chicken wings do sound good though, man.
Because one of the guys I golf with today, he smoked 200 chicken wings yesterday for a graduation party. He was talking about it. Said they got rid of them all. Oh man, he started them like at 7:30 in the morning for the 4:30 party. Oh
man, I need to do that on my smoker.
Yeah, you do.
I haven't broken out the smoker. Been so busy on weekends that I just haven't been able to really fully enjoy my Pit Boss smoker. But here in the next few weeks, once things calm down a little bit, I'm gonna smoke some wings.
Yeah, that sounds. You guys let me know how they are. I'm sure they'll be
I'll
good.
send some in the mail to you. See if they last.
All right.
I'm not even gonna put them in. I'm just gonna put them in a paper bag.
Hey, I'm not fancy, so I'm not bougie. That'd be fine with me. That's right up my alley. It's right up my alley. But let's start off with some NBA Finals talk tonight. You made a mistake with your book of prediction last week, saying that by this time this week, the Nuggets would be NBA champions. Well, we didn't realize that there was only two games to be played after the podcast last week, not three.
Why?
It was dumb how they spread it out. It should have been three. I don't know why it was Wednesday, Friday, nothing yesterday.
Yeah, why not do something on a weekend?
I don't know.
Just mix it up, have a game on Saturday too. I don't get it.
I don't know, but tonight is Game 5. It's in Ball Arena in Denver. I do think the Nuggets do close it out and finish the series off tonight. I do see Tyler Hero is suiting up for the Heat tonight, so that could be an interesting wrinkle in the mix. Wonder how early Spoelstra will put him in the game. I doubt he puts him in the starting lineup, but Spoelstra has been messing with his lineup like every game, trying to find something that'll work. So, it'll be interesting.
It might be one of those things that if they're playing well, he won't play them at all.
Yeah, could be.
And if they're down, maybe he provides a spark, so he puts them in just see if he can shoot them back into the game. But he's got to be a little rusty. I mean, it's been 2 months, pretty much, since he played. So obviously you get practice time, but that you can't simulate game. Game atmosphere, really, anything.
Especially in the finals.
Especially
in a market
championship sort of game,
where the franchise is in their first finals ever, and then the crowd's buzzing.
It's gonna be rocking. This has been, maybe it's just me because I haven't really followed it, but it seems like this has been the least talked about NBA Finals this century.
And it's funny you say that because I'm agreeing with it, and I think that's the media's fault.
Yeah,
but I think from a everyday NBA fan, not your diehard NBA fan, I think a lot of people are enjoying it because they're getting to see some players and some teams maybe you don't see all the time on national television. And my dad sent me this note. I thought this was pretty interesting. The Nuggets odds entering this season to win the championship were plus 1,800. The Heats were plus 1,600. That's 8th and 9th on the favorite list coming into this year. And here they are in the finals.
The Nuggets were what last year? They were a pretty highly seated team, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I think they were 4 or 5. I'll go look it up. They were injured a lot last. Like Murray was out for the year.
Yeah.
The year before they got in, I think as a 2, and then Murray blew his knee out late.
Yeah, they were a 6 last year.
Yep.
And then they were a 3 seed.
Okay.
2021.
Okay.
So.
And then the bubble year, they made the Western Conference Finals and lost to the Lakers. Because that's when the Heat beat the Celtics in the bubbles. So
yeah, I just and that's the national media. You probably see more of it anyway because you follow a lot of Denver stuff. Where some people have been tweeting about it, but for the most part, I'd really like to see where the ratings are because I could see it being the least rated finals, television ratings, which no one cares about television ratings except the TV people.
Except the
But
advertisers.
in the advertiser, but you look at the matchups throughout this century. I mean, the Lakers have been in it a bunch. They're going to draw. Boston Celtics, they're going to draw. LeBron James going to draw. Golden State Warriors going to draw. This might be the lowest rated final since the Heat Dallas Mavericks, maybe. But then again, I mean, Dallas or Miami had Shaq and they had Dwayne back then. So it'd be interesting to see how that stacks up.
I'm sure we'll find out after the finals are completed, and that's something we could talk about on the show. It's interesting you were bringing up, that I probably see a lot of Nuggets stuff, which I do because I follow a lot of Denver sports things on Twitter. Do you see a lot of Heat stuff following some Miami accounts since you're a Dolphin fan? Yeah.
It's the funny thing is it's mainly been Florida Panthers stuff.
Oh, yeah. I see. I forgot they're even in the finals.
Yeah. The Miami is the epicenter of the sports world right now with Messi. Is Messi going to the soccer club there? Is that what it is? I don't follow soccer. I don't even know why I brought it up. But then of course you have the Heat and you have the Florida Panthers. But it's I mean they tweet about the Heat, but again their expectations are significantly lower with the Heat than they are the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, Messi is going to the MLS.
Yeah. And the Panthers are they down 3-1? I think Vegas won last night.
If Vegas won last night, they're down 3-1 then.
Yeah. So I've for whatever reason it's been more about them than it has been the Heat. And it could be because the Heat have been in a bunch here the past 12 years, 13 years. So
well, and the thing with the Florida Panthers, I know we're still talking NBA, but we're kind of jumping around, or really the state of Florida, they've kind of dominated the NHL. The Lightning have been to the Cup multiple times and won it in the past decade. You don't think about one of the warmer states in the United States being a hockey epicenter, but here we are. And you were bringing up, Miami being the epicenter of sports. It was interesting. One of the accounts I follow on Twitter was talking about the average price of ticket for game 1 or 2 in Denver was about $550 to $600 for the finals. Average price for game 3 in Miami, $150.
Yeah, I believe it. Mm-hmm. There's also a whole lot. I mean, it's warm weather. Obviously, it's going to be warm in Denver anyway in June. But you have the beach. It's not a sports. It's not a sports town at all, which is crazy. Like when we go out to a Dolphins game, we're chilling on the beach and people will ask us why we're there. It's like, oh, we're going to the game tomorrow. And like, oh, what game? That sort of thing. So,
what's crazy to me about that, and I totally understand. I mean, Miami, like you said, it's just like a lot of California places, like LA. There's other things to do, but that's crazy to me when you say that about the Dolphins, because the Dolphins are one franchise I feel like they've been there long enough. They have good tradition.
Yeah, the crazy thing is the tradition comes outside of Florida for whatever reason. I mean, Dolphins travel real well. There's fans all over the country just because they were good back in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, I mean, it's definitely a soccer town in Miami.
I understand that. Yeah.
It seems like with the Cuban population, it'd be a baseball town, but they just don't show up to Marlins games, which Marlins haven't really given them any reason to celebrate anything anyways here 20 years now.
I was gonna say they have 2 years in their franchise and then they show up then, but interesting stuff. What are you predicting for tonight's game?
This will be the J-Man's book prediction of the week.
Wait. Are you sure you want to use your book it now?
Good call. Gonna hold off on that one.
Okay.
Gonna hold off. Like, what else is going on? Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to break. That would happen. You wouldn't use it, and then Rory would win. But
Rory would win. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But
give me the Nuggets tonight. I think they close it out. The city of Denver has had a lot to celebrate here the past 7 years or so.
Yes, I hope they win, and I hope they do it tonight. Our friend of the podcast, Jeff Ryan, is going to be in attendance tonight. Ooh. So I really hope they get it done for him and his family. That'd be a really cool moment. Yeah. His dad went to game 2 His parents actually did. Actually, the game they lost, but his dad has been to Stanley Cup finals games in the past. He's been to one Super Bowl 33 in Miami. This is like a Miami related show here. In Miami, when the Broncos beat the Falcons, he's been to Rocky games. I don't think he went to a World Series game, but I know he went to the NLCS game clinching, or the clinching NLCS clincher. When the Rockies made the World Series, and he said Game 2 of the finals was the most electric atmosphere he's ever been to.
That's cool.
Because the Super Bowl is not everybody rooting for the same team.
Yeah.
It's not even half and half sometimes.
I was going to say, it seems like Super Bowl atmosphere wouldn't even be that great.
Right. Stanley Cup one's pretty good, according to him, but he said just something about it. I think it was just the newness of the Nuggets being good. I mean, I think if you ask them, even though the Rockies have never even won an NL West the title in their history, even though they've made a World Series, if you ask them which team they would never see win a championship in their lifetime, they probably would say Nuggets. So, just how the NBA is. But here we are.
Yeah. Have a chance to do it.
Yep. They won Game 3 with ease down in Miami. Really punched Miami in the mouth from the get-go and never let Miami get into it. Then Game 4 was a little bit back and forth. It got real physical. Joker got 5 fouls at one point. I thought the Heat might escape with that one and the series get real interesting again, but Nuggets closed that one out. So to get 2 down in Miami was, of course, really big for the Nuggets. So I think they get it done tonight, and I think the spread's 9 points. And I think they win by about that margin. Let me see if it's dropped with the news of Tyler Hero. Let me see if it's dropped at all. 8.5. Okay, it's dropped half a point. Yeah, so I'll say Nuggets win by 9.
I think they cover. I just don't. I think the Heat kind of ran out of gas. I mean, they're an 8 seed playing in the finals, which is pretty incredible itself.
Yep.
But I just don't see them having enough. So, and I had that stat last week. I think it was the Nuggets have lost every game Jokic has scored 40 or more points this postseason. I think they're 0-3. In the previous 2 games, he scored less than 40 and they won. So
he just put up a triple double game 3.
Yeah, 32, 21, and 10. That's crazy.
He's ridiculous. He gets better every year. I'm good for him. 2nd round pick, 41st overall. I mean, that's, and that's what I was talking about, I think, to my dad the other day. The Nuggets have the blueprint right there for small market teams, how they can succeed with the Pacers. But then I'm like, well, the franchise player and one of the best players, if not the best player in the NBA, fell in their lap in 2nd round. So that's some luck too there. So
yeah, big time. So and I mean, kind of have to be. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Can't agree with that more. So, any other thoughts on the NBA?
Nope.
NBA. All right. Well, the golf world kind of stole the sports headlines last Tuesday morning. I get a text from one of our good friends of the podcast, Aaron Lynch, with a link about the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, formerly known as the European Tour, and LIV Golf forming a merger. I'm like, what? Like, this is fluff or something. I click on the link, then it's CNBC, and I see ESPN reporting it, and then the Jay Monahan and the guy who runs not LIV Golf, but help me out here, the PIF or FIP, PIF, I believe.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The financial backers of LIV, of the Saudi funded LIV, they were on CNBC, so I'm like, okay, this is unbelievable. This is happening. They're all going to join forces. Almost a week later, we still don't know enough details. There's still a ton of questions that need to be answered. But this is something we've never really seen before in sports.
Yeah.
Or maybe, we have with ABA, NBA, AFL, NFL back in the day, but this is a little different. I mean, it's just unbelievable to see Jay Monahan take a 180 turn from just a month to 2 months ago on his stance of everything.
Have there been any terms released or anything, like what anything is? No stipulations.
I know today it was reported that the Senate's opening an inquiry on this deal. So the Senate wants to look into it a little bit.
If I did one of my bold predictions was that the LIV Golf would
you
fold.
did.
due to money issues? Do I get like a quarter point because
Yeah, they're not folding, and they might not
I mean,
fold.
they didn't fold.
I mean,
but-
I still don't know. That's one of my questions. Like, okay, so, they said this year's got to be played out like it was supposed to. Live guys play on live on and live events, except the ones who can play in the majors play in the majors. PGA guys just play the PGA Tour. All events going on as originally planned. But next year's the question for the 2024 season. I mean, are PGA Tour guys going to be allowed to come back? And if so, do they have to face any type of penalty, or can they come back scotch-free? And if so, they're going to really chuckle and look like the winners of this whole thing because they got the money that they went there for, and then they can come back and not be penalized, whereas the Rorys, the Tigers, Will Zalatoris, John Rahms, Deki Matsuyama, on, declined the money. And now they're ticked because they could have taken a big payday, and the tour was telling them, no, stay here, be loyal.
Yep.
It's just, I don't know, it's interesting. I think if it all goes how, of course, I want it to, I think it could be really good for the golf fan in the long run. If we can get the best players in the world playing in various tours, playing whenever they want, playing, pick and choosing their events, maybe having a team event once in a while on the PGA Tour. I don't know. My suspicion is the PGA Tour realized Live Golf's not going anywhere. We thought they were going to. We thought that we could strike fear into them. They're not going anywhere because the Saudis have too much money.
Yeah.
And they can fund this for years and years and years and years.
And as you said, it might be good for the game of golf because Liv experimented with stuff. And maybe they can implement that more into a PGA.
54-hole tournaments, no cuts, team events on top of your individual winner. There's a lot of things I think they could incorporate. I don't think they need maybe the party atmosphere that Livs has, the music always playing and everything. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. Are they just going to combine one huge tour and that's it? Or are each of the three tours going to still be their own tour? Just, players can play whatever they want. I really don't know. There's a lot of details that need to be ironed out in this thing.
Yeah, and as you said, I don't blame guys like Rory and those guys that stayed loyal to the PGA because the PGA was convinced them, hey, stay loyal to us. It'll be good. Just loyalty, preach loyalty, and then they go behind their back. Didn't even talk to them about any of this, any of their plans, and just had a bomb dropped on them. And I don't blame them for being mad.
No, I mean, it's supposedly talks between 5, if not 6 guys. And that was it. That were including these talks went on for about seven weeks. And the deal was struck. I just can't believe it didn't leak. How does stuff
crazy.
Not leak in the world of 2023 of social media? That's unbelievable. Good thing the player didn't find out because it would have leaked because pro golfers are about the worst secret keepers in the world. Well, at least of professional athletes. So, but I did feel bad for the RBC Canadian Open because even though it was a heck of a finish, it was a 4-hole playoff finish. Guy hit a 70-foot putt, eagle putt to win. And then Adam Hadwin got tackled afterward by security because security thought he was just a random fan coming on to celebrate with Shane Taylor, and that wasn't the fact. But
first Canadian to ever win the Canadian Open,
which is unbelievable. Yes. And the crowd was roaring. I mean, it was cool seeing. So I felt bad for them because whatever happened in the tournament was going to be overshadowed. And this week we have the third of the 4 golf majors, the U.S. Open, played at the Los Angeles Country Club. And while it should be a fun tournament, and all eyes in the golf world will be on it, I still feel like it's going to be overshadowed by last week's news of the merger.
And it feels like a lot of the majors have been kind of overshadowed.
They have.
Especially with Brooks Koepka winning the previous one.
And I personally think that kind of sped everything up.
Sure.
In this merger because it's not going to shock me to see the LIV guys play well again this week. Wouldn't shock me if one wins. I mean, the PGA, we had Bryson and Brooks in the top 5, and I think 4 guys in the top 20. And at the Masters, you had Phil and Brooks in the top 5. You had Patrick Reed, I think, was in the top 20. Some other guys around there. Dustin Johnson might have been in the mix. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, Brooks Koepka is one of the favorites this week. He's third. in the odds. Scotty Scheffler is the favorite. John Rahm is the runner-up favorite. Victor Hovland's fourth. He won the Memorial Tournament, which is arguably it's right up there with the Players as biggest tournaments that aren't majors. Rory McIlroy, your guy, then they're fifth with 11-1. You also got Patrick Cantlay, Max Homa, Xander Schauffele. Schauffele and Cantlay are two of the more boring guys on tour. Good players, but just boring.
Yeah.
Then in the running, you got Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Colin Morikawa, Cameron Smith, Tony Finau, Dustin Johnson, Cameron Young, Matthew Fitzpatrick, all there. Ricky Fowler's 50-1 odds, not too bad. I saw there was somebody on ESPN put their power rankings. He was 11th, which I thought was pretty good for a guy who hasn't won since 2019. So I'm just hoping he makes the cut. I'm not going to say he's going to finish top 20 like he did the PGA Championship because he missed his only cut on the season, even though his last time out 2 weeks ago in the Memorial, he tied for ninth. With all that said, J-Man, who are you predicting wins this year's U.S. Open?
So the U.S. Open is the one where they want it like the
toughest setup.
Right around even.
Right around even, if not a little over par.
I saw the video. I think you retweeted
I did.
Them dropping the ball.
Oh, my God. Right off the green.
Yeah, just buried.
I just don't understand how they do it.
With that being said, this is the one. This is the one that Rory gets done. You can take it to the bank. Book it. Rory wins.
Rory gets his first major victory since 2014. J-Man is calling it.
J-Man's Booker Prediction of the Week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watering for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watering@infb.com.
This is an interesting course. It's never held a major. It held the Los Angeles Open in 1926, 34 through 36 in 1940, and also the Walker Cup, which is the amateur version of the Ryder Cup in 2017. But this is the first year it's held a major. There is a par 3 that is 290 yards this week, which is ridiculous. I could hit my career drive and not get it there. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I like when majors are on the West Coast as a golf fan because that means it's late night, primetime major golf on the weekend. And I like that. Finishes on Father's Day this Sunday like it does. So, which I'm glad I just mentioned that. I meant to mention that at the start. So happy early Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope everybody has a great Father's Day weekend. Grilling some more meats, as J-Man likes to say. Who do I want, or who am I? Not who I want. We know who I want to win the U.S. Open, Ricky Fowler, but who am I picking? Oh, I am tempted to go with a LIV guy just to shake things up. Do I want to pull the trigger on a LIV guy? Man, it's hard not to go with Scotty Scheffler, the favorite. I think Rahm's going to be right there, but I'm not picking him. I picked Hovland for the Masters. Who did I pick for the PGA? Or no, I picked Hovland for the PGA. I don't know who I picked for the Masters. I don't remember. I will go with a PGA Tour guy. Let's go with Cameron Young, 35-1 odds. Cameron Young. It would be his first major championship. He's been in the mix a couple times. Don't know why. Going with Cameron Young. So,
haven't you picked him before? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I picked Cam Smith, who's a LIV golf guy.
That's
which his odds are 25-1, so a little better than Cameron Young. But I will take Cameron Young, and if Cameron Young doesn't win, I'm never picking a Cameron again. But there's a lot of good dark horses. I mean, the U.S. Open, you never know what's going to happen. Like I said, it's golf's greatest test. Looking forward to it, though. Should be fun. And it's just crazy to think after this, we'll only have one more major to go, and that's the Open next month. It goes by so fast. April through July goes by so fast in the world of golf. But the world of golf's got to be in the headlines for the next who knows how long till I figure out this merger, because that was big, shocking news that came out last Tuesday, to say the least. Yeah. News I did not believe for a couple minutes, but here we are. We'll see what it means for the world of sports. With that said, do you want to get educated, J-Man?
Let's do it.
Let's see what's happened on this day on June 12th. Well, on this day, 1907, the Yankees committed 11 errors, Lost to the
That's
Tigers
bad.
14-6. That's not good. On this day, 1919, who won the U.S. Open?
1919?
Yeah.
I couldn't even give you a guess.
Walter Hagen
Never heard of him.
defeated Mike Brady by one stroke in an 18-hole playoff to win his second and final U.S. Open. Let's see here. On this day, 1928, New York Yankees future Baseball Hall of Fame first baseman Lou Gehrig collected 14 total bases with 2 triples and 2 home runs in a 15-7 win over the Chicago White Sox. That's a pretty good game.
That's a good day at the ball yard.
That's a pretty good game. On this day, 1939, the Baseball Hall of Fame was dedicated in Cooperstown, New York, where it still resides
39,
today.
huh?
Yeah. Yeah, coming up on 16 more years until 100. 84.
84.
Yep. Also on this day, 1939, who won the U.S. Open?
39, Sam Snead.
Good guess. Byron Nelson. Won by 3 strokes ahead of Craig Wood and 7 ahead of Danny Schutt in a 36-hole playoff to claim his second of his 5 major titles. A lot of playoffs. Yeah. U.S. Open, I should Google this, and I don't know the playoff format. I am gonna Google this because historically it's 18 holes. You play the whole next day, 18 holes. Last time it happened was Rocco Mediate and Tiger Woods in '08, and Tiger ended up winning, and then because he won on like a torn ACL and close to a broken leg.
Whatever happened to Rocco?
He went to the senior tour, and I still think he plays on there sometimes, but that's always going to be his claim to fame was he took Tiger not only to 18 holes, but even extra holes to that 18 hole. There's a 2-hole aggregate playoff format should there be a tie. So not 18 holes anymore.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're tied after that, I wonder, let's see here. I should know this stuff. It's embarrassing. I should know this. Well, the 36-hole playoff format was in play from 1928 to 1931. 18 holes started in the 1980s. Oh, this was the new format was adopted in 2018. That would hope it's in hopes that it can wrap up on Sunday instead of carrying over to a Monday. So, the 2-hole playoff would begin at hole 1 and then proceed to hole 18. If there's still a tie, sudden death golf would be on number 1s and 18 until someone wins. There you go. All right, back to on this day. How about on this day, 1948? Who won the U.S. Open?
Sam Snead.
Ben Hogan.
Oh, man.
Ben Hogan. It's always like 3 guys you could throw out there in the old days. On this day, 1957, Stan Musial played in his 823rd game.
Yeah.
That was a new NL consecutive game streak, by the way.
Mr. Redbird.
Yep. On this day, 1975, Hank Aaron smacked his first home run in Milwaukee since 1965 as his new team, the Brewers, beat the Oakland A's 9-7.
Oh, Hank. Hammering Hank.
On this day, 1981, baseball players began a 50-day strike. It was the 3rd strike.
Yep,
Major League
I
history.
remember hearing about that one.
I was going to say, you don't remember. You weren't
No,
born.
I don't remember it, but I remember hearing about it.
On this day, 1984, who won the 38th NBA championship?
84? Man, was that... why do I feel like that was Philadelphia?
So Boston Celtics over the Lakers, 4-3. On this day, 1990, New York Yankee reliever Dave Righetti, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, became the 9th to record 200 saves.
Dave Righetti was a long-time San Francisco Giants pitching coach. He was their pitching coach in like 2010, 12, 14
when they were good
years. Yeah.
2 other baseball things that happened on this day, 1990. Oakland A's Ricky Henderson became the 2nd to steal 900 bases. We talk about him all the time on this list. And also Orioles Cal Ripken played in his 1,308th consecutive game to move past Everett Scott into 2nd place on the all-time list. On this day in 1991, who won the NBA championship?
91. That was that the Bulls?
That was the Bulls. They beat the Lakers 108-101 in Game 5 for the first of 3 straight
I
titles.
was going to say, I thought that was their first.
MVP was Michael Jordan in his first NBA Finals appearance. On this day in 1996, Marge Schott gave up day-to-day operations because of her numerous incisive comments about Adolf Hitler,
Yeah.
working women, and Asians.
Yeah. Whole Marge down there in Cincinnati.
On this day, 1997, the first ever baseball regular season interleague game was played between the Giants and the Rangers. The Giants were victorious 4-3. Who won the NBA title on this day in 2002?
02? That would have been the LA Lakers, wouldn't it?
Yes, they beat the New Jersey Nets 113-107 for a 4-0 sweep and third straight title. Shaquille O'Neal was MVP for the third consecutive final series.
That was their last one, huh?
Yes, they would lose the following year. And yes, and then they would get back 2 years later. I think it was 2 years later and lose to the Pistons. Maybe 3 years later. Yeah, with Malone and Peyton. On this day in 2009, who won the Stanley Cup?
09. Blackhawks won in 10. Red Wings.
Good guess. The Red Wings lost in a 4-3 series to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Penguins were actually my second guess.
It was their third championship in franchise history. On this day in 2011, who won the NBA Finals?
2011, that was, I think that was Dallas, wasn't it?
That was
They beat
Dallas.
Miami?
Beat LeBron's first Miami team in 6 games, and Dirk Nowitzki was the MVP. On this day in 2016, Cristiano Ronaldo became the first soccer player to top Forbes' highest paid athletes list, earning $88 million.
Man, it's kind of light nowadays with soccer contracts.
A lot of on this days this week, but we're not going to complain. On this day in 2016, who won the Stanley Cup?
2016,
Yes.
LA Kings.
Pittsburgh Penguins defeated San Jose Sharks 4-2 as Penguins' 4th title. On this day in 2017, who won the NBA Finals?
17, that would have been Golden State.
Golden State Warriors beat the defending champion Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1. Can you tell me who the MVP was? It was the third consecutive year that those teams met in the finals.
It's not Andre Iguodala.
It was Kevin Durant that year. And lastly, on this day in 2019, who won the Stanley Cup?
2019? Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh Penguins.
St. Louis Blues
Oh,
beat the Boston Bruins 4-1. First title in franchise history. For the notes.
That'd be okay if St. Louis never won another title in anything.
That'll make some of our listeners and viewers very happy. If not, maybe the opposite of happy. And that is the On This Day segment, which is brought to you by Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is a veteran-owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of North Carolina with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs to fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed projects by visiting them on Instagram at Mooney Woodcrafts and on Facebook by just searching Mooney Woodcrafts. And if you let them know the Tan and J-Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your order. Probably can't get one in time for Father's Day on Sunday, but you can make a place an order for a late Father's Day gift. Your dad would still love it. So it would make the perfect graduation gift, wedding gift, anniversary gift, whatever. Maybe you just want a nice sign of your favorite sports team hanging in the background of your podcast room, your man cave, whatever. Hit up Thad. He'll take care of you. He makes great signs, does great work.
Speaking of Father's Day, word association this week is famous sports fathers, starting with Archie Manning.
Oh, man. Great player for Ole Miss and the Saints and the Vikings, even though those teams weren't not very good. And he's more famous as just being the dad of Eli and Peyton and Cooper. Can't forget Cooper. Cooper, the wide receiver, who was really good and hurt his neck. Unfortunately, now he's going to be known as the grandfather of Arch Manning once he gets going for the Texas Longhorns. But Archie, dad of one of the most famous families in all of sports, let alone football.
King Griffey Sr.
King Griffey Sr. Wish he would have never gave it. No, I'm just kidding. I won't go down that road. But no, he's the dad of one of the sweetest sweens, if not the sweetest sween in baseball history, King Griffey Jr., who I saw his golf swing yesterday. It's just as sweet. It's just not fair. Just not fair. But really cool that he got to play with his son for a little bit in the Mariners. And not a bad player himself, but wasn't as good as his son.
Del Curry.
Del Curry, decent NBA player, but he was not as good as his son Steph. Was not even near as good a shooter.
He's kind of the NBA equivalent to King Griffey Sr. a little bit.
Yeah, and you can't forget about the other Curry, whose name is Seth Curry, who played at Liberty and Duke, and has had a cup copy in the NBA, different teams too. So yeah, proud papa of 2 NBAers. That's pretty impressive.
Howie Long.
Unfortunately, he was a Raider, but another dad of 2 athletes, 2 NFLers.
2 first-round picks.
Yep, Chris Long was number 2 overall by the Rams, and
Kyle.
I'm struggling with names today. Kyle Long, of course, played for the Bears for many years. So yeah, that's impressive. It's impressive to have 1 professional athlete, let alone 2.
Ed McCaffrey.
Oh, Eddie Mack.
Thought you'd like that one.
Denver Bronco legend, part of the Ring of Fame. Not a Hall of Famer, but good player. Broke his leg on the day before September 11th in the first game in what is now known as Empower Field. I just hit my finger against the table. That really hurt. When it was then called Invesco Field before it was Sports Authority, before now it's Empower Field at Mile High. But
it's always going to be Mile High Stadium.
He's the daddy to a lot of football players, but most famously Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers running back. About said Carolina Panthers. I forgot he's a Niner.
LeVar Ball.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Haven't heard from him or about him for a couple years, though. That's been kind of nice. Dad, LaMelo Ball. Lonzo Ball, and I forget the third one. The third one that got arrested in China. I forget his name.
LiAngelo. So the Bulls believe that the reason why Lonzo's had all these injury issues is because the big baller brand shoes are so terrible that he's having these knee issues. So LeVar, I mean, we know he's only cared about himself over his sons, but making them wear big baller brand. Could have ended his son's career.
The worst is when he was on the show with Stephen A.
Just yell at each other back and forth.
Yeah, that was awful.
Joe Jellybean Bryant.
Joe Jellybean Bryant. Well, gave us one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Kobe almost went and played for his dad in college at LaSalle. LaSalle and Duke, I believe, were the final 2 on his list before he jumped pro, and then was drafted by the Hornets and traded to the Lakers for Vlade Divac. Sure, the Hornets are kicking themselves about that one. But I don't know much about his NBA career, to be honest.
I don't either. Bobby Bonds.
Good player, but not as good as his son, Barry Bonds. We talked about Barry Bonds in length last week in Word Association about a guy who never won a ring, but, of course, one of the greatest hitters of all time with or without performance-enhancing drugs.
Doc Rivers.
Good coach, still coaching today. He's going to end up coaching every team in the league by the time he's done. But
did he get hired by anyone?
No. I don't think he actually did. He was a finalist for the Suns job.
Yeah, they didn't hire him.
Let's see.
Somebody else.
Maybe, so maybe he is going to take a year off, but it doesn't mean that he won't be.
Yeah. His son, Indiana legend Jeremiah Rivers. And then, of course, he had...
he's coached for the Magic, the Celtics, the Clippers, and the Sixers.
Yeah, he was a good he was a good player too, point guard. I think he won a title as a player. Maybe he didn't. I don't remember. But good commentator, solid coach. Probably needs to take some time off.
Yeah,
not bad. Yeah. Pat Mahomes.
His son's the best quarterback in the league. Freak athlete.
Former Cubs legend Pat Mahomes, I should say.
Former Cub. and gave the arm strength off to his son.
Yeah.
That's for sure. His son could throw a fast baseball too, on top of making some throws in the NFL that nobody else can make. Hoping this is the year the Broncos can stop the losing streak. 15 times in a row is painful enough.
Buddy Ryan.
Oh, buddy. Oh, he gave us two good old Ryan boys there.
Yeah, he did.
Rex and Rob. Two great defensive minds. Two hysterical guys that you want mic'd up all the time. They love their snacks on Hard Knocks. But great defensive coach himself.
Yeah.
Buddy Ryan. Yeah. Legend in the game.
Maybe he had the greatest defense of all time.
85 Bears.
Yeah.
Carried off the field along with Ditka.
The greatest hatred in all of sports, Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka hated each other.
But they made it work.
Yep. Clay Thompson's dad, Michael Thompson.
Clay Thompson's dad, Michael Thompson.
Yeah, I figured Michael Thompson was too vague.
Yeah, it was. Legend within himself. But once again, like, these legends are good players, but they're not shooters like all their sons.
I do think, did Michael win an MVP? I want to say Michael won an MVP with the Lakers.
I'm looking it up. Probably right.
He was tall, though. He was like...
He's number 1 overall draft pick in 78.
He
Played
did
at Minnesota. Played for the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was tall. That's why he wasn't as good a shooter as his son Clay. But
he did not make a single three-point shot. Oh, he made one. He went 1 for 12 in his career from 3.
So I would take Clay in a game of horse over Michael.
Yeah, me too. A couple more here. Let's see. I already forgot him. Bob Boone.
Son of Brett and Aaron Boone.
Dad of Brett and Aaron Boone.
That's what I meant. I'm glad you picked up on that because I didn't even realize I said son. Yeah, if he's a son, we got some problems.
Yeah,
but
we got some issues
dad of Brett.
there.
Brett Boone was the better player of the two. Aaron Boone, of course, has been a pretty successful manager.
He is the whiniest manager in MLB history.
That is the reason he's got tossed more than anybody in the last 5 years. Maybe last decade even.
Gets
getting up
tossed
there.
about once a week.
I think he's got tossed 39 times.
Yeah, it's in the 30s. I saw a stat the other day that he's been tossed almost as much as trying to think guys who have been in the league a long time. Almost as much as like Francona, which is crazy in his career. Yeah, he just whines.
But he needs to get it done sooner or later. He's not going to be the Yankees manager anymore.
Cecil Fielder.
Was he better than his son, Josh? In your opinion?
They were
pretty close,
neck and neck.
Pretty close. His son Prince was built like him.
Yes, he was.
He had some taters back in the day for the Tigers. Both of them did for the Tigers. I learned about him. I used to have this video about home run hitters like in '96, and he was one of those featured on that, and that's how I learned of Cecil Fielder.
Yeah, I think they both hit 40 homers in a year, I believe. They were built the same. I remember watching video of Prince back at the old Tiger Stadium at like 13 years old, just launching them out at 13 years old, which is crazy. Final one here, Bill Walton.
Oh, Bill Walton. I can't stand him as a commentator. Pac-12 late at night. He's all over the place. He just gets on my nerves. What's he going to do when the Pac-12 fizzles out? It's not a conference anymore.
I don't know.
That's happening soon, Bill. It's happening soon. He's going to love the Big Ten now, won't he? When UCLA comes?
Yeah,
like, oh, great. Oh, great. Great. We're going to get Walton to call Big Ten games on Fox, aren't we?
Well, Walton's an ESPN guy through and through. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, we could. But his son, Luke Walton, was a good player at Arizona. Wasn't that great of a pro, but he got many titles with the Lakers and then was a coach. He's been a coach all over the place in the NBA, Lakers, Kings. I think those are his only 2 stops.
I have no idea.
Head coach, at least. But yeah, Bill Walton is a national treasure, whether you like him or not. Let's see where Luke Walton is. He is. Where is he right now? Oh, he's assistant coach for the Cavs. There you go. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So that's a good word association. Really good list there. Really good list. Like It Is Every Week. And it's brought to you by Like It Is Every Week, Proforma Print 2 promo group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or even a sales meeting, Proforma Print 2 promo group has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs, so you need to look no further. No more calling those companies trying to find somebody to get you promotional products and commercial print, because they can do it all. Let them be your one source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call, 574-210-3815. Or if you'd rather just send her an email, you can do that at barbara.vanweinsberg@proforma.com.
Baseball. Looking around baseball here, we have Tampa Bay Rays still 28 games over 500, 5.5 up on Baltimore, 9.5 up on the Yankees, 10.5 up on Toronto, 14 up on Boston. Everyone's 500 or better in the AL East, and then you have the AL Central. Everyone is 500 or worse in the AL Central. I saw a stat the other day. I favored it. The Minnesota Twins went under 500 at 31-32 a few days ago. They're now 33-33, but they led the AL Central, and it is the latest into the season for a division leader to be below 500 since the Arizona Diamondbacks on July 24th, 2008, when they were 50-51. The NL Central is not much better. The leaders of the Central, the Pittsburgh Pirates, lost 2 of 3 to the Oakland A's. The team who's second in the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers, just got swept at home by the Oakland A's.
So the A's are going to win 40 games.
It's still a little hairy to
iffy.
say that. Yeah, 17-50, the Oakland A's. It looks better than it did a few weeks ago. But then you have the Chicago Cubs. They're 6.5 games back. They're a bad baseball team, swept by the LA Angels. And I tweeted yesterday, even when they win a series, they have an innate ability to just make you miserable. And
that was a good tweet.
I have some stats to back it up. So, in series finales this year, the Cubs are 4-16 in the final game of a series. They're 4-16, including 1-6 after winning the first 2 games of the series, and a couple of those 13-3. 10-2. It just feels like they get blown out. I don't know what the issue is, but they win the first 2 games of the series, and then they just get absolutely demolished in the third game.
Shellacked.
For whatever reason. But here's another stat for you. The Cubs are 1-6 in games, as I said, with a chance to sweep. They are 2-4 in games with a chance to win a series. They're 1-2 in games with a chance to split a series. And then they're 1-4 chance to avoid being swept. So
those are awful numbers.
Yeah, final games of series are not kind to the Chicago Cubs. Marcus Stroman, however, has been absolutely fantastic, but he did come out with a tweet. My agent and I made multiple attempts to engage the Cubs on an extension. Club wasn't interested in exploring it now. We'll see how it plays out by the trade deadline. Which if they trade Marcus Stroman, Jed Hoyer, for one, I don't think Jed Hoyer, and I tweeted this, I quote tweeted the Stroman tweet, that Jed Hoyer should not be allowed to make any decisions for the future of this franchise, and I'm still 100% on board with that. If they were to trade Marcus Stroman, it sets this non-rebuild, as they called it, back 2 to 3 years, because he is a top of the rotation sort of guy. He has been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball this year, leading and are one of the tops in ERA. He is the tops in all of baseball in quality starts, super consistent, and he fits their system so well due to their great defense up the middle with Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner. Gets a ton of ground balls, and they've been turning him into outs this year, and he's been just fantastic. So if they don't come to an agreement on an extension with Marcus Stroman and they do trade him, then once again, Jed Hoyer should not be there. But it feels like he's building this thing, or not building it, but he's operating as if he has like a 10-year leash, which maybe he does, because the Ricketts clearly don't care enough to make any sort of change whatsoever. But yeah, Cubs are a bad baseball team. They don't hit anymore. Ian Happ, they signed him to an extension. Now he just doesn't hit homers anymore. He walks, makes contact better, but he just doesn't hit homers. Nico Horner's in a slump. Dansby Swanson's in a slump. Cody Bellinger hasn't played in a month. Patrick Wisdom has been one of the worst hitters in baseball since May 1st. Matt Mervis has struggled. Chris Morel has had issues with struggling. They're getting very little production from anywhere in the lineup, to be honest. The bullpen's been terrible outside of like two guys. It is a bad baseball team that was supposed to compete this year, and they're just missing a golden opportunity with how bad the NL Central is. I mean, they're only 6.5 games out, which tells you how bad the Central is. Anyway, but they have the Pirates for 3 this week. They could maybe chip away a little bit at the division lead and maybe stay in it to where they don't sell at the deadline. But as of right now, it feels like it is trending towards selling for the 3rd straight year at the deadline. And if you're a president of baseball ops selling 3 straight years, you need to be fired. There's just zero excuse for it.
When's the deadline? Mid-July? Late July?
It was July 31st.
And
then it was August 15th one year.
I'll find it.
I want to say it's back to July 31st, maybe August 1st.
It is August 1st. You got it.
Yeah, it was July 31st like my entire life up until a few years ago. They tried August 15th, and that was stupid. Typical Manfred move. Now it's August 1st, which is fine. But once again, they'll be selling. They don't really have that many pieces to sell besides Marcus Stroman, and they better not sell them. That's the reality of the situation. Elsewhere around baseball, AL West, Texas Rangers are playing fantastic baseball. They have the 2nd best record in all of a Major League Baseball. And then you have the team that is tied for the best record in the National League. Can you tell me who that is?
Team tied for the best record in the National League?
With the Atlanta Braves, they're tied with.
We got to think about this. Tied for... Well, why am I blanking on the divisions? Arizona Diamondbacks.
Arizona Diamondbacks, 40-25.
Wow.
Which is crazy because
I think I had them getting second to last in the division in my predictions. I think you had them 3rd, didn't you?
I had them, better than the Giants.
The Giants, yeah.
They have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball. Corbin Carroll, who's a 22-year-old rookie, will win the Rookie of the Year. I can't imagine a scenario where he doesn't win Rookie of the Year. He's hitting 308, 389 on base, 579 slugging. Again, 22 years old. He's been fantastic. But, Arizona Diamondbacks playing some great baseball. Elsewhere around the sports of baseball, we have the Super Regionals going on in college baseball. Stanford last night won. They beat who'd they beat? I forget who they beat, but that doesn't matter. They let their pitcher, left-handed pitcher, his name is his last name is Matthews. I cannot find his first name. I'm sure it's here somewhere. But Stanford let him throw 156 pitches last night in a complete game shutout. He struck out 16 in 9 innings. Seems stupid. That guy's going to blow out his arm. The last MLB starter to throw 135 or more in one game was Tim Lincecum when he threw a no-hitter in 2013. The last MLB pitcher to throw 156 pitches or more was Tim Wakefield in 97, and he's a
knuckleballer. Yeah.
Exactly. The last non-knuckleballer to do it was a 33-year-old Roger Clemens in 96.
His arm held up pretty good.
Yeah, the NCAA needs to crack down on this stuff.
They won't.
They won't do a single thing, but it seems like, especially this old guard, because it's a Hall of Fame coach there in Stanford. I forget what his name is. I don't think Augie Garrido's there. Why am I thinking it's Augie Garrido? Anyway, they need to crack down on this stuff because they don't care about the future of these. It's
all about the dollar bills, man.
Augie Garrido died 5 years ago, so that was stupid, Josh. I heard his name last night, though. Maybe that's why. But, real stupid. That's all. That's all I got.
That's all you got. So, well, you ready for the birdie or bogey?
No.
To close out this episode. So, Andrew McCutchen, yesterday, recorded his 2000th hit, becoming the 5th active player to have 2,000 career hits under their belt, joining what 4 players?
Miguel Cabrera.
That is one.
I want to say Jose Altuve.
Nope.
Shoot. It's going to make me so mad when I see it. Miguel Cabrera is an obvious one. Freddie Freeman?
No.
Oh man. I'm so bad at this sort of question. I'm looking at the teams right now, and I literally couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
You're taking a bogey, my friend. It is Miguel Cabrera, Joey Votto.
No, Votto's not even active. Give me a break.
Nelson Cruz and Elvis Andrus.
I would not have gotten Andrews. Nelson Cruz, completely forgot he was with San Diego. That was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought you had a par in the bag. I thought you could get. I thought Elvis Andrus was the only one you wouldn't get.
I should have gotten Votto, but he hasn't even played this year, so I wouldn't even think about it. Freddie's 8 hits away.
Hey.
Yeah, I almost said Trout, but he's a couple hundred away.
Yeah.
But, thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show live on the ISC Sports Network. We'll be back at it next Monday with another episode.
Happy Father's Day.
Fantastic Father's Day, everybody.